After I saw the doll dance in the trailer, I was a little hesitant to watch this film. And for some reason, the release date in India is like a week after the US release. So all of that kept me from watching this, but I did eventually watch the movie. And after watching M3GAN, it stands for Model 3 Generative Android, I was really surprised at the final product. The real reason that persuaded me to watch this were the positive response that came with this film, like after the release. And that encouraged me a little to watch it. You know, it sparked some curiosity in me. And so I thought, you know, at least it'll be a decent entertainer. And for the most part, it is. Allison Williams as Gemma and Violet McGraw as Katie. Both of them give really strong performances, especially Katie. I like how both of these characters are presented in the film. Her emotional state after the tragedy and how Katie interacts with everyone, especially M3GAN, is some of the more interesting parts of the film. I also like that Allison Williams' character is not a complete idiot, and she actually uses the resources that are available to her and actually tries rather than just sit there and be decimated by the villain. I kind of enjoyed that she uses the things around her and she has some level of environmental awareness, and that is very rare with such characters, and so I enjoyed that about this movie. Of course, the best part of the movie is M3GAN. Amie Donald physically portrays the role, and she does fine work with what she's given, and so does Jenna Davis, who gives M3GAN the voice. So yeah, both these ladies, both of them give M3GAN life. And once M3GAN is introduced in the film, then the film actually picks up momentum. Then that's when the film actually becomes entertaining. Up until that point, I was a little bit bored by all of it. I was starting to get bored. But she is the best part of this film, and any scenes that have her is some of the more interesting parts of the movie and is one of the more enjoyable parts of the movie. You're waiting to see, especially if you're watching this for the first time, you're waiting to see how M3GAN is going to handle that situation. The one thing I found strange is the way M3GAN is marketed in the film. Like, I understand it's a kids toy company, but it wasn't anything wrong with it. It's just something I found strange, that an AI of such caliber would be more of a companion to adults rather than for children. Like, if you put aside the AI going evil or the AI killing, let's put aside all of that. Let's just look at it from a surface point of view of what the AI does in the movie. If you see what the doll does in the film, it felt like she would have been far better off marketed towards adults. Maybe not as a doll, but more as an assistant, an AI assistant for adults rather than for kids. But I understand it's the premise, it's manufactured in a kids toy company. It wasn't anything wrong with the movie. It wasn't any kind of criticism. It's just a thought that I wanted to share with you out there. I couldn't give a damn about any of the supporting cast, especially Jack Cassidy as Brandon, who's the school bully. He was introduced in the movie only to be executed by M3GAN, and he had no purpose to be in the movie other than just a means for M3GAN to kill someone. He was introduced and killed more or less in the same scene, within like a few minutes apart. That's it. That's what I mean when I say that he was the most useless of all the characters. Now, the only well-executed supporting cast, at least according to me, in comparison to everyone, would be Jen Van Epps as Tess and Brian Jordan Alvarez as Gemma's co-workers. In comparison to everyone, they are the most well executed, but you're not going to remember them after the movie is over, as they are very forgettable characters, as are all of the supporting cast in this film. Now, the concept of the movie is also nothing new. It's AI turning evil and killing someone. Only this time it's in a horror setting. The concept is nothing new, but the way it's executed in the movie does give off a fresh vibe. So I would say it warrants its existence, but I'm just saying the premise is nothing new, but the experience does give off the vibe that you are watching something new. At least it gives off the illusion that it is new, even though the premise isn't. To add on what I said before, like, the beginning parts of the movie are some of the most boring parts. The movie takes its sweet time getting to the creation of M3GAN, and everything up until that point I felt I was starting to get bored. And once M3GAN started, like once M3GAN was in the scene, once she was fully operational, that's when I started, getting entertained. And that was those are the most entertaining parts of the film for me. Like, whenever M3GAN is not there on the screen, you really start to feel the runtime. There were several times when I started looking at the clock just to see how much time has passed. And I feel like this movie would have been much better had there been 15 to 20 minutes of it was cut off and you made the killings rated R instead of PG-13. I felt like that would have served the movie better. Despite all of that, M3GAN is a movie that I was really surprised after watching it. Like, I went into the movie with very low expectations and I came out of it satisfied. At least I was entertained by the movie. It is silly. It is a very silly horror sci-fi thriller that leans more towards the sci-fi and thriller because there wasn't anything that was that horrifying to me. But it's way more, if I look at it more as a silly sci-fi thriller with elements of horror, I guess. It is an entertaining film, and I would highly recommend you watch it if you haven't already.
Girl, you shut me down and there's no witness. Got me in my feels, she would never listen. All the alcohol is in my liver. I guess I lost and you're the winner. Missing your touch, you were a good kisser. I was born a saint, but now I'm a sinner.